Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I actually never say that. I'm Cassie. I was diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma back in May, and we're dealing with it, we're sorting it out, and this is chemo round 5. So I had chemo last Friday, and I like to just record all of the side effects, even if I have any. Sometimes I don't even have any, and it's just completely uneventful. So I basically started filming my cancer journey just because I wanted people not to feel so scared going into chemo, because there's obviously a lot of fear mongering, and I honestly try not to fear monger, and I hope that I haven't done that with all of my videos. Hi Sophie. She always wants to be in my videos. And she's hungry. I need to make her food in a second. So basically, chemotherapy round 5 was better than chemotherapy round 4 because I chose to be Wonder Woman when I did chemotherapy round 4. I decided to go back to the Victorian era and just decided to go through the aches and pains of it all when I really didn't have to. My oncologist told me off about that because you really don't have to suffer. Yes, I know, you really do want feeding. I think I'm just going to have to pause it and start feeding these little kittens. So what was different between chemotherapy round 4 to chemotherapy round 5 was the medication that I was on. So she basically gave me, she upped it a little to give me some stronger medication. So when I was going through my chemotherapy, I wouldn't feel it as much as I did on chemotherapy round 4. So basically they give you a course of painkiller medication or nausea medication, whichever the side effects of that particular chemotherapy, because there's different ones. There's aches and pains chemo, and there's nausea chemo. So they give you medication maybe the day before, day of, day after. So I had them last time, and I also had a pain medication which actually didn't help any. So but this time around she gave me some stronger medication and it helped a lot. And so on top of that regular stuff that I told you about, the one that I had the day before, the day of, and the day after, I had the pain medication on rotation with a Tylenol. I live in Canada, even though I have an English accent, and whatever similar that is in your country. So I would have the strong pain medication, and every 4 hours rotate it to the Tylenol, to the strong, to the Tylenol. So I did that the day before chemo round 5, and I took their medications right up until yesterday because I started getting a little bit of constipation from the medication, and I started to feel a little bit better. So I decided that I was going to come off the medication so it didn't cause any problems, kind of thing, because I wasn't getting constipation before that, only when I started feeling a little bit better. So I just thought, right, I'm going to come off it. So, and also I had that funny taste in my mouth, which I absolutely hate because it destroys any good things that you want to eat, and it makes water taste different. It's I can't even describe the taste. It's as though you haven't brushed your teeth for I don't know, say a month, and it's this metallic taste that is constantly in your mouth that you can't get rid of, and it affects your taste buds and stuff. So that can come with chemotherapy, and it also can come with the medication that you're having. So I decided to come off the medication yesterday, and I still had some slight aches and pains in my legs. Let me just give my little munchkin her food before she screams her head off. What I've noticed with my chemotherapy, I keep referring to my aches and pains chemotherapy, is it always seems to last the longest in the area that I already have niggling aches and pains. So I normally have sore calf muscles and legs. I've always had tight calf muscles and legs, and the chemotherapy seems to stay there the longest. So yesterday I had throbbing pains in my legs, and it was bearable. I didn't need any painkillers for it, but it was definitely there. And then once the pain goes away, you start to feel really fatigued. of all of the side effects, they can't really help you with fatigue, unfortunately. I mean, they do say that exercise helps with fatigue. So you can try going for a walk, but to be honest with you, you're fatigued and you can't really be bothered. Only 1 second, I'm filming, sweetie. So yeah, the fatigue part is the bad part, because you can't concentrate on anything and you don't want to do, like, because my regular channel is a sewing channel, I really just don't want to sew anything. I can't concentrate. I can just like watch the TV. That's all I can muster up. Kind of burnt my pancake. Okay, let me talk further. One thing I did do was last time I tracked in my journal all my side effects, so I knew exactly when they were going to get better, like my side effects. So I knew that by Thursday, Friday, I was going to feel better, so I could come off my medication. I didn't take any sleeping tablets last night either, so I went back on my regular sleeping. I mean, I did struggle sleeping last night. I kept waking up, and then I woke up at 3 a.m. and then I was completely fatigued by about 6 a.m. So yeah, the struggle is real. So what else? Because I want to emphasize the importance of sleep on your immune system. Like, if you don't sleep, then your body can't repair itself properly. So it's important to sleep. And I know, like, taking sleeping tablets probably isn't the best thing to do, but it's better than lying awake and not sleeping. So like I said, if you're struggling with something, you need to tell your oncologist, and then they will give you something for it. Like if you've got mouth ulcers or any kind of ailment, obviously apart from the fatigue situation, but anything, they will help you with it. So don't suffer in silence like I did last time. Definitely open your mouth and say something. I should have phoned up and got some stronger medication last time, because this time was a lot more of a breeze. So this is pancake and yogurt, Greek yogurt with honey, and I'm having my cup of coffee also. And also the hospital phoned me up yesterday because they wanted to move my radiation appointment, my consultation for my radiation, to a week ahead. So now I have that appointment on Monday. So when I got diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma, can't even say it. Anyway, you know what I mean. That was back in May. They told me to have chemotherapy, so I had 2 rounds of chemotherapy. I had the nausea, so I'm on Fec D, and everything's in the description down below, what they gave me, because I just can't pronounce the medications, if I'm honest. So I had 3 rounds of that, the nausea one, like with the red devil that they refer to, and then I had 3 rounds of this second one, which is more aches and pains. And so basically they told me that if I didn't have chemotherapy at the time, I'd probably get breast cancer, like 57% chance for it to come back. So basically having the chemotherapy would knock me down to, I think it was 27%. So basically with the radiation on top of that, my assumption, like I could be wrong, but my assumption is it would probably drop it down to like 10%. Now, I'm not quite sure what the percentage is of a regular person getting breast cancer, but I'm assuming it is basically going to drop me down to that sort of level, or probably even less, after having treatment. So obviously I'm going to have that appointment on Monday, and I'm hopefully going to record it for you guys, if they'll allow it. And I think this is really good information for everybody out there. Obviously I have the same worries and concerns that every other person in this world has about radiation, about I'm going to get scarred, I'm going to get burned, blah blah blah. I mean, they're not going to turn around and say 100% no, I'm not going to get scarred or whatever. They're just going to say, you know, there's a risk. But I think it's a lot more with more denser breasts than it is for like mine. So I mean, it's one of them things, and I think they're going to give me creams and stuff to have, and I'm going to ask them, like, is it better to moisturise like now? Like, is it going to have any effect? Is it like, you know, I'm going to ask all of these questions. I have a little book that I keep, and every time a question pops up in my head, I keep this book in my bag, and then I keep all the questions that pop up into my head and I write them down, because like these questions just come up in your head like all the time. So I keep this book handy with me, so if I have a good question, then I write it down in my book, and then when I see the radiologist or whatever they're called, I can ask them all these questions. So I have my final chemo on the 4th of November, which I'm so excited about. And I think there is a chance that I'm going to be having radiation every day for a month, apart from Saturday and Sunday. So I'm really keen to get this radiation like going and finishing it all off before the end of this year, because I just want it done and dusted by the end of this year, and then I can start a new year afresh and cancer free, you know what I mean? Getting told that. Yeah, it's kind of emotional right now. Like, I keep on thinking about my last chemo and getting quite upset about it for some weird reason. And I just want to remind you guys to please go and get you, like, check yourselves, and if you do find a lump, please go and get it sorted right away. Just because you find a lump doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get chemotherapy and go down that road. Sometimes it can just pop that thing out and you never even have to have chemotherapy or radiation. So please don't leave it too long to go and get sorted. I left it like 7 months between going to see my doctor and going to have my ultrasound and mammogram done, and by that time it had actually grown a little bit bigger where I could actually feel it while I was moving about, and it also migrated into my lymph node. So if I would have like dealt with it like straight away, they might have just been able to have popped that out and I would never have had to have gone through this. So I want you to listen to my story and take that to heart and go and get yourself sorted if you need to be sorted, please. So thank you so much for watching. If you found my channel useful, please subscribe to it, like, and comment down below. I love seeing your comments. They uplift me, they make me happy. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye, and I'll see you in the next one.